Hey guys, so we're coming to you here today with Alliance Air War version 3.0.0. This is far and away the largest update we've ever done to the game. We just submitted about maybe 15 minutes ago, and it should be live hopefully in a day or two in time for the holidays. I've been working on it for quite some time, and you'll see in a second why. Alright, going here to single player. For those of you who are familiar with the game, you know that we've had up until now two major eras, World War II and modern day fighter jets. Well, we are now proud to roll out and introduce 1980s, the Iron Curtain. So here we go. Pick a game mode here. And off we go to the carrier deck. So we start here with the intro plane that you get. This is the FA-18C Hornet, kind of a general purpose fighter from the 80s. Available as well with the Navy Airshow skin, which you see right there. And for our foreign markets and foreign players, we have a couple of the 80s jets that are known in their countries. So we have the F1, which was a big Japanese interceptor in the 70s and 80s, available as well with their Japanese airshow skin. This plane was actually flown by the Japanese air team, the Blue Impulse, for quite a number of years. The trainer version at least was. And going to the Chinese market, we have here the J-82 Finback, which was also an interceptor and also flown in the 70s and 80s. Available here with their own airshow skin, also a real paint job that was used during these years with various prototypes and models of this plane. Okay, and let's not forget our European markets with the Tornado ADV, which was a big plane back in the 80s, especially in the UK. And as you see here, we have a test pattern skin that they actually fly on this jet. It's a real paint scheme that they use. Okay, now the next plane has some interesting history behind it. So this would be the F5. But perhaps better known to some of you who are fans of the movie Top Gun as the MiG-28. They pull double duty as that in the film. So we have it with the VF-111 Squadron, the Sundowners, for any of you guys who are military aviation buffs, done up in the real colors that they use. This is an aggressor squadron that they use to train against American fighter pilots. We have the MiG-29. What collection of 80s planes would be complete without it? You see there, which also has its airshow skin flown by the Russian Swifts, so one of their air teams, which you can see right there. And the F-16, of course, this was already available in the modern era, but we moved it into 80s where it belongs. Comes with a Russian aggressor snow Arctic camo pattern, and as well as its own airshow, the Thunderbirds. Now, I'd shown you before, we have the legendary MiG-28, and what offering would be complete without its counterpart, the Tomcat, rather. The probably single most iconic and famous plane of the 1980s. You're seeing it here with the VF-154, the Black Knight Squadron colors, available also in the Sundowner scheme, just like the F5. We actually have a couple of pilot friends, and so we agreed to put their favorite squadrons here in the game. And for any of you who had any toys in the 80s, the most popular and famous Jolly Rogers VF-84. Our personal favorite, and as anybody who collected any sorts of toys in the 80s must have had something that looked like this. So there you have the F-14. Okay, continuing on, we have the Su-27, the Russian Beast, the air superiority fighter that they fielded back in the 80s and still do in a lot of uses. Also available with its airshow skin. This is from the Russian Knights, pretty much their preeminent aerobatic team. And last and certainly not least, the F-15 Eagle, the dominant American air superiority fighter in the 80s. And much like the Su-27, still in use very much today, available with the Israeli Air Force skin pattern you see right there, as it served quite a long time with them and racked up most of its kills in that Air Force. So let us pick, I'm going to go with one of my personal favorites, Jolly Rogers F-14, and let's get the show on the road. So for those of you who know the game, you know that up until now it's been mostly a naval affair, entirely a naval affair. It's been levels over the water. We've done various, forms of, attack and strike and defending the fleet and attacking the fleet, but it's always been over just this water area. And the whole idea was that we would, develop and continue to bring our graphics expertise and all of our research and everything we're doing into the realm of terrain levels when we had the capacity and the time to do so. We've been working really hard over the past couple months, and I think I sent you guys, in fact I did, send you guys a number of screenshots a few days ago. And so yeah, this is fun, this is pretty, but after a while this definitely does get old. And so now, let me show you guys Alliance Air War over land. And there it is, the fruit of all of our labor. What you're seeing here is us throwing everything we had at it. We're talking about volumetric clouds, our atmospheric scattering and lighting, and procedural content generation, which is the huge one. These levels go on forever. We're not limited by satellite data or anything of the sort. You guys really need to see it on an iPhone. The video recording does not do it justice. What you're hearing here, this is a simulation of actual radar arrays of how they sounded in the 80s, so we actually do the sound effects per the era for the planes. But sounds aren't the main point. Back to the terrain. So as I said, it goes on to infinity. You can make endless levels with this. What's really cool is when you start using the geometry for gameplay. So the canyons here are very, very usable. You're going to see what happens here in a second. So I get a missile lock from one of the bogies, and I have different ways to evade it. But one way is to dip into the canyons, which is what I do right here. So I look for an opening, head forward, and go right in. And the missile already exploded, but had it kept following me, what I would have done is dip back out of the canyon and use the opportunity to go here. And I'll take this chance to show off a little with some maneuvers. Now here we are in one of our Arctic terrains. So you're seeing that same procedural content generation, the light scattering, everything that we're doing in a different time of day. You can tell that basically our lighting system touches everything in the system. And right there you saw the F-14's wings move. We animate that as well. And both these levels were created, in a matter of hours, really. The tools took a while, but we put these out in the past couple days. Now here we step up the generation to a much later fighter jet, the F-22, and you notice the iconography has changed on the HUD. And so the symbols take on a different color. There's different sounds indicating the different technology. The sensors are quicker to pick up. And of course all the fog, for this particular setting in the later time of day on the Arctic level. And speaking of later and times of day, we go later still, and we don't forget the oldies, the World War II planes. So here we're back to the canyon level, almost at sunset, almost before night. And we're going on a strike mission here in our Spitfire against anti-aircraft installations. There's the bullets deflecting off the rock. Got one. Get to bank now, check out the red rock faces of the canyon. Pitch around. Taking a bit of sun before taking out the last enemy. Rockets and guns ablazing. Now a scenic flight into the sunset. There you have it, guys. Thanks so much, and you know where to reach us.